Hello everyone, this is Blaze of Firewolf. This is another drawing. I'm drawing Max James Wells all June, from June 2nd to June 20th. Just thought I should film these. Might as well film these because, I already finished them all, and, I'm not going to be doing any more drawings for the rest of this month. It's almost wrapping up, so, yeah. Yeah, so far I did kind of well with Max and kind of how it would look. I named him after an actual piece of electronic, Betamax, which it's an intriguing idea, something I came up with, and I did these right here. They're not perfect. I could do much better. If I had a little more room, I would definitely be drawing a lot more, get a little more of an aspect with fitting a body, but yeah, it gets better. It does get much better as, I get a little more space here. This is Max when he's turned into a protogen. And I'm not afraid of changing his species. He's one of those personas or OCs that I wouldn't mind changing species, but for now, I think he would be better as a protogen, as it would fit very well with an aesthetic and with an intriguing story. An idea from an episode I made up based on Jake Long, American Dragon, the first season, because I kind of came up with an idea of an episode, even though I doubt that they would bring back that cartoon, but, And this is Max when he is a human, or at least when he was human before turning into, what he is now, a dragon. But, yeah, I wanted to try to figure out how to look on how 1940s hair would look, kind of. So I kind of did a little bit what I did, and used kind of in the old art style of the season 1 cartoon of Jake Long, American Dragon, and crossed it haired. I'm not trying to make it look like Jake's dad either. That's just, I'm trying to make it, make it as different as possible. So, yeah. I did a little bit of fan art of Darius and his BF, Purtis the Wolf, or Proset the Wolf, Pros the Wolf. But yeah, you can feel free to check these guys out on Twitter. They're just nice people, Yeah. This is where I get into my ideas coming around in my head, where I wanted to have the dragons become protogens, and basically doing a cover of Imagine Dragons song Digital. So that's what you're seeing here. I could even do the hashtag Imagine Dragons in this or not, but feel free to let me know what you think, because I do kind of have that come up theory and put a heart right there. Yeah. But, yeah, it's intriguing. I'd say I did a little bit better on designing a protogen a little bit with its claw-like features and kind of the structure of the body a bit. It looks a little bit better than maybe how I first drew protogen. It gets better the more I do it, so feel free to let me know what you think in the comments on these drawings. There's another person I did on Twitter, fan art. In this coming month, I'm going to be doing Cyanide, the deer wolf, all July. So I won't be doing any more fan art for anyone anymore, because I already have ideas on what I want to do. So don't request any more fan art anymore this year, because I already am booked up on what I want to do, what I want to draw. I already have plans. I already plan ahead whenever I do art, so this is kind of what I did this month. Similar to this, where I did these 2 pages based on the song Digital, performed by the band Imagine Dragons. There's another song, The Mouth of the River. I actually had to write down the lyrics because to figure out, you know, how the aesthetic is and what kind of imagination I can come up with. But feel free to let me know what you think in the comments. You know, should I continue this if I draw Max again? Should I do it like... Let me ask you guys, should I do fan art of these characters again, performing more music from the Imagine Dragons band? Like doing covers of that? Or would you like me to just do my own way? Feel free to answer in the comments, but yeah, the purple staining is because this actually is not very good ink. It goes through the paper, but not as much, though it's noticeable, sadly. But I think I did very well, taking a lot of my time drawing these. Whether you call these canoes or kayaks, I mean, I call them kayaks because, you know, I wish someone could tell me how to spell kayak, because I've tried typing in and I actually forgot how to spell it, so, but yeah. Let me know what you think of these drawings. You can put a timestamp on which drawing is your favorite. Here's a continuation of that. I think this is a 6-part segment that I did, because I wanted to create something what I did in my own mind, what I envision, what I imagine with the song, and how I imagine dragons. Ha 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 ha. That's not really a good joke now, is it? But yeah, it's creative. Putting I did it like this because that's kind of how the lyrics and how the song is, so that's kind of what it is. I'm not copying, tracing, or anything like that. This is all something I did with my own imagination, with how they would perform, how they would do it, structures on how they would use instruments. He does the drums, he does the keyboard, Jake's the guitarist, and I'm the vocalist. Well, Max is, but it's not perfect, but it's something that is possible to be animated in the future, but doubtful. I did write down a story about this. So a group of dragons go to this island, and intriguingly enough, it's not charted by any maps. These 4 dragons, of course the band, you know, Jake Long, Fred Nurk, Max, the blue dragon, yeah, they all come to this island. They all get swept under the weight. They entered through the mouth of the river, hence where the song got its name here. And it actually, what happens is they all go drown, or at least they think they drown. But it turns out they fall unconscious. They wake up on the top in a hot springs. And then what happened is basically their faces are carved out in rock by some type of magical thing, given that it's the magic community in the Jake Long American Dragon universe. I call this island, it's an island, Isle of the Fire Breathers. Just something I created with my own mind and how I envision it. They're not turned into stone. They're not turned into stone. Basically, it's like Mount Rushmore. You know, how they're carved out of the presidents. It's kind of like they're carving out people in rock. And, you know, it's similar to that. They all wake up in the hot springs, and then they look around, but then the camera pans out, and then it shows this. They're probably right above up here, like wondering what's happening, what's going on here. Basically, that's what happens. Anyone who first enters this island becomes a part of a founding of the island. Not out of fame or fortune, but out of what comes out, what you can think of. what in your imagination you thought you would die, but no, it's actually in your head and you actually wake up. And actually, to add cool notes to this, they all now gain the ability to breathe underwater. So they're not only just dragons, they're water dragons. They're able to breathe underwater, which is interesting to note. But put a timestamp on which one's your favorite, and that's it. I hope you guys like this video. It's much more longer than I anticipated, but that's a lot of work when it comes to taking my time and sketching these out and then coloring them in and figuring out the kinks and stuff, like what to work with. But feel free to like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and share all together. This is Blaze the Firewolf, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Goodbye.